of you remember what we spoke about last week? What was the main thing that you picked up from last week's message? Because this is a continuation. Oh? Your fruits are not for you. What? Taking dominion. That was the purpose that man was created. How many of you understood that revelation last week? You know, we read in Genesis, it says when God created man, he created him in his own image so he could take dominion. Purpose. In Luke, when Jesus spoke, the first time he spoke out, he said what? I have come to preach the kingdom, for that was why I was sent. And I explained that the cross was not the reason. It was a means to an end. I explained that the cross was the way for you to have access and be born again and become a child of the kingdom of God. Please follow me. First of all, how many of you are believers? You know, I always ask because sometimes everybody thinks everyone that comes to church is a believer. And I need you to be on a wavelength for you to understand what we're talking about. You have to have started your journey. And today we're going to unlearn and relearn some things. So we spoke on that and spoke on why if you become a child of the kingdom, you become a leader on earth. No matter where your position is, no matter what you do, you become a leader. Because you know why? When we speak, we say, you know, we're of the kingdom, we're royal priesthoods, we're this. You mention all those names, but you don't act as them. So when we speak on being a leader, what do you talk on? You talk on the fruits. The fruits and then I give an analogy of a tree. And the point of the tree is that, have you ever seen any tree eat its own fruits? Because fruits, the fruits that you bear, the gifts that God has given you, they are not for you. They are to bless other people. And what attracts people to a tree is what? The fruits. It's not the bark. I'm not talking about flowers, or it's not a tree. Hardly do you see a tree and say, oh, that's such a beautiful tree. First thing that attracts you is, I beg, is that mango on the tree? So last week was just a base study. It was a study for you to just understand why you were sent on earth, which is that you were sent on earth to take dominion of, bring the kingdom of God on earth. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. So, we spoke on some things. Even Thursday we spoke about it. A lot of people say we're sent on earth to worship, to do. And I say, you know what, let's be honest. You're supposed to do those things. Those come as part of like I said, if you're building a house, you have by the time you're getting to the house, you must have tiled and done all those things. Yes or no? But the main reason you were sent was to take territory. Now, the next question people started asking is, how do I register my success? How do I know that I'm fulfilled on purpose, or I'm fulfilling purpose? So today I'm going to talk on something, and it's success. How many of you want to be successful? And I'm not talking financially. But you would love that everything you do, you are successful, right? So today I know a lot of people have their pens and papers, so please walk with me, you're going to write. So success is something that every human wants. Do we agree? And you agree that success is part of the reason, even today, why you are here today. But you don't want your life to be better. So you want to make your life better so you can succeed in what you're doing. But success is something that you have to ask yourself some questions for you to be successful. So let me read out some questions for you. And you agree, you'll tell me whether you agree or not. And by the way, please feel free to encourage your pastor. Yeah, we need the encouragement. It makes us feel like we are not in this alone or talking to ourselves. So there are 5 questions you need to ask yourself if you want to be successful. Number 1, who are you? Who are you? Some of you don't even know who you are. Number 2, where are you from? And I'm not talking about ethnicity. Some people ask, where are you from? I'm from the East. Some of you don't even know where you are from. Because somewhere you've been mixed. Your mother is Hausa, your father is Igbo, your grandmother was Yoruba. Some of you even look like, we know that some ancestors, pardon me. You know that there was white and black mix right there. But when we talk about where you're from, I'm not talking about that. The third question is, why am I here? Now, let me tell you how these things play. You cannot know who you are, right, if you do not know where you're from. You cannot know where you're from if you do not know who you are. So, if you don't know those two, how can you know your reason for being here? Okay. The fourth question is, what can I do? What can I do? And the fifth is, where am I going? So let me break that down a bit. Who am I? That is your identity. Who are you? You know, a lot of times there was a joke that I heard once. They said, a lot of us wear other people because we don't even know who we are. So you're wearing Gucci, which is a name. You're wearing Givenchy, which is a name. Don't look at your pastor and say him to you. I'm just. You're wearing Prada, which is a name. And you know, this is one of the things that even the industry, the fashion industry feeds on. That's why you see that they pick people, they dress them up, they pull you, and they say, this is the new season. This is how you should be. Some of you don't even have style of your own. You're looking at other people, and they are the ones trending you. It's the truth. By the way, please pardon me. Everybody, pardon. I know a crack joke, but okay, don't worry. Because the women will bite me. So your identity is something that is very important that you need to find out. See, you cannot be successful if you do not know who you are. You cannot succeed fully in what you do if you do not know who you are. That takes me to my next question. Where are you from? Where is your origin? It's not your ethnicity. Where is your source? Then we go to the third, which is what? Let me see if you are following. Why am I here? What is your purpose? That is the one thing that bothers me. Do you agree that most of these questions I wrote down is why we have bad things happening in the world? First of all, that is why you see people killing, doing fraud, because what? They are trying to be, because they don't know who they are. Now, what can I do? It's a question of capacity. What are my potentials? These are questions that everyone, please raise your hand if you agree with me that these are things that bother you. That everyone, you agree that you've had one or two. What is my capacity? What do I carry? What do I have? Do you agree with me that if you do not know your capacity, you cannot fulfill anything? We were having a conversation. We had a men's ministry yesterday, by the way. Please help me appreciate God for that. That was an amazing. We were there for like 4 hours, and it was an amazing time amongst men. Yes, we were flogging ourselves, Abi, Kojo. And please help me appreciate Kojo. He helped facilitate the location and all that. And one of the things that we realized is, if you do not know your capacity. So we had a conversation where someone was asking, saying, we're talking about time. I said, look, when I was before Holy Hill, I thought I didn't have time. But, when Holy Hill came, God created time. And we got into the talking of it. And one of the things I realized is, and I asked the person a question. I said, if they make you the president of Nigeria today, will you not have time? And they thought and said, yes. So sometimes you have capacity, but you do not know. So you work on a low capacity because you do not even know what you carry. So let's go to the third one. Where am I going? I'm sure if I ask most of you say the grave. Heaven. By the way, one of the things we spoke about last week, was what? That we need to be kingdom-minded. Sorry, I'm saying this because some people were not here last week. That you need to be kingdom-minded because the kingdom teaches you to do what? To invade territories, to invade the world. But religion teaches you what? I like that, to japa, to go to heaven. So there's a bit of selfishness in religion. There's that selfishness where we think about ourselves. Let me just be doing good. And that is why the world is being taken over by evil. Because we're not taking territories of this world. Things come up, LGBTQ. The church keeps silent because the church is just trying to make heaven. This is why I said we will start to preach kingdom principles. No more religion. So when people come to me now and speak, I want to understand your thought process, the source of your thoughts, and where is your thought going. So the question of where am I going is a matter of how far where is your purpose leading you to, and how far your capacity can carry you. I don't want to lose you this morning. If I'm losing you, just wave your hand and say, I'm lost, because I'm going. So there's a desire for success. You can write this down if you want. Every human wants to be successful. I know I've touched on that before. Every human wants to be successful. Number two, how many of you agree that success is predictable? And failure is predictable. That's one number 3 points. Do you agree that life has been designed for laws? Okay, let me, Lord, please give me how I can break this down. Okay, let me use on that one. Do you agree that life has been designed for you to succeed? You see, you know what this tells me? That we have a lot of people now right here, dealing with identity, dealing with purpose, and all these questions I had said. If you do not know that life was designed for you to succeed, then today is your day. Look at your neighbor, say, today is my day. Today my mind will be shifted. How many points have I told you now on this success? Number 1, every human wants to be successful. Number 2, success is predictable. Number 3, failure is predictable. Life is designed for you to succeed. Number 5, God is committed to your success. Again, God is committed to your success. This is not one of those sermons you should sleep on. If your neighbor beside you is sleeping, elbow them. Number 6, your success is good for God. Now, let me go back. With all these things you're hearing me say, do you agree that life is designed for you to succeed? Okay. So you all agree that your success is good for God? Okay, good. And you all agree that success is built and was built into creation? Okay. I think this is cheating. We're cheating. Let me give you a good example. Let me go. Let me break it down into layman terms. How many of you are manufacturers here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. I'm a manufacturer too, but let me break it down. There are things you can understand. Give me your product. Give me your phone. Thank you. Every product that a manufacturer makes, what do? They put their name on it. So like this. Okay, this one has case. What name is supposed to be on this phone? Or what image? Thank you. Your bag. When it was produced, does it have a name on it? Good. Now let me break this down. Let's go. Please, by the way, pay attention because I need to explain some things. How many of you, okay, for you, I know it's hard if you're not in manufacturing, you might not have been into a manufacturing line. So there's the production line, right? And every product that is being produced, right? What happens? Quality assurance is being tested. Yes or no? It's being tested. It is finished. Then it's tested. Then what happens? They put their logo on it. Right? Number one, it is finished. Right? Tested. Stamped. Now that name is also known as their image. Stamped and done what? And what do they do? They send it out to you. So every product that you get is not the beginning. It was finished before you started using it. Every product you get is genuinely not new because it was tested before it was. So it was finished before it started. Don't just focus. It's going to be, but I'll land. And most times they come with what? A what? And what does the manual tell? It tells you all the promises that phone can do. But most of us don't read manuals, Abi. Your fridge. I was removing a tag from something today, and I saw QC tested. Your fridge was tested before it was sent, before you bought it. But the manual of the fridge, how many of you have read that booklet? For those of you that have cars, how many of you have read the booklet? But for things like phones, like me now, I only use it to call, text. I don't know any other thing except if I run through one reel or something that talks about, oh, you can do this with your iPhone. And they were like, you can scan? Okay. So a lot of times what happens? You're using it at what? Low capacity. I think some people are already catching it. So we agreed that the product was finished before you started using it. So when God created man, when Adonai Manufacturing Company started, El Shaddai Packaging Limited started, you were finished before you started. You were finished before God put his image on you. He had tested you before he put his. He said, let us make man in our. Let us make man. One, you were finished. And you were the final product. So he put his. So tell me if you're not supposed to succeed. Tell me if you were not supposed to succeed. Now, do I go back and ask, do you believe that life is designed for you to succeed? Good. The reason why I like this analogy is because you need to, the types and shadows of things, right? The God that gave us the ideas and the brains to be able to do these things was because he understands the idea behind manufacturing, behind production of a product, right? And you were completed before he sent you out. Your purpose, Everything. Now, let me give you an example. Your phone. Do you need to buy any other accessory to attach to it? Everything is within it. Your apps are within it. You use your phone to download the apps. The purpose and everything that is needed for you to succeed lies within you. The control of your success or your failure is you. And it's because you do not even have answers to those 5 questions. So before you were, do you remember what God told Jeremiah? He said, before you were conceived in your mother's womb, I what? We're finished. I knew you. Your purpose. So when he was talking to him, when I say you are a prophet, I knew you were a prophet. I'm not telling you. So, you see, you need to understand one thing. Your future is not ahead of you. It is within you. I don't know if you are catching that. Is somebody here with me this morning? Your future is within you. Your purpose is within you. But some of you, your lights are still blinking because you have not read the manual. In every manual, there are what? There are warranties, there are guarantees. Most of you might not know because you didn't even read it. In warranties, what happened? In warranties, what happens? What do they promise you? What do they tell you? If this product is defective, if for some reason it does not work, do what? Send it back to us. We will pay whatever amount. We will change whatever part. At whose cost? Why? Why? Because it is about their image. So your success speaks good of God. He's invested in your success. God needs you to be successful. But I'll tell you something today. The only thing God is obliged to be invested in are his plans and his purpose in your life. If you start to follow the purpose of your life, what happens? God would make every way possible. You know, I remember when we started Holy Hill, I'm glad Mrs. R is here. One of the things that me and P. Kems did was we felt we would never put any burden on anyone because we felt this was God's work. And we felt that if it was his purpose, he would do what? Provide. And sure enough, he did what? Provided. Because he was obligated. If you had asked me a couple years ago, I would never have thought I would be a pastor. That's the truth. I love God. I always wanted to serve. But it wasn't in my plans. So some of us, our lights are still blinking because we're not even moving on the right capacity. We do not even know what we carry. Because you don't even know who you are, where you're from. You know, one thing about God is, you know, when we go through things, every time we go through things, we're always worried, we're always bothered, we let it weigh us down. The reason is because you don't even know who is backing you. You don't even understand the capacity. God will not let you go through what he does not believe you can overcome. He has tested you before you came on earth. Let me tell you one little quick analysis. They say how many millions of sperm enter, sorry for being graphic, but how many millions of sperm every time? 6 million. 6 million. You go school. out of 6 million, you won. You were the one that what? So guess what? The testimony this morning is you do not even have to win because you have already. Look at your neighbor and say, I have won. So your life did not begin. You did not begin when you were born. You had begun before. Because God had known you even before. And he had deposited and said, this is the purpose in which this person will go. You see why when we speak, we say you need to look for God. That's why his word says, look unto me, and every other thing will. Look unto me. Say to your neighbor, God says, look unto me, and all other things would. How many of you have been looking unto God? So the purpose of every product, the purpose of you was built into the product. So I'm going to give you some things. Write this one down too. Success in life is as a result of decisions. This is one of the things me and the men spoke on yesterday. You know, it's not easy to come and talk to me about some things because I'll blame you. Do you understand? I think it is not right for me if you always come and say, PSJ, the guy that I dated is mental. Then you come the next day, the other guy I dated is mental. Then the third one, the guy I dated, I think is almost. The question I'll ask you is you. What is the question? What fruit are you bearing that is attracting mental cases? The reason why we have a lot of issues on earth is because we go through something, we don't even analyze ourselves. We're looking for who to blame. It's so funny because the person you are blaming is also somewhere blaming you. Let's take relationship. The woman that is saying that is the guy that caused the failure. The man too is saying with his friends that she don't get sense. So what I've been trying to teach people is look within yourself. Even if you did not do anything technically, but you've been attracting, look within yourself. What is it in me that is attracting these madmen? It's the truth. What is it in me that is attracting somebody that is not supposed to be of me? Am I dressing wrongly? The words of my mouth, are they edifying? Am I in the wrong circles? Number 2, failure is as a result of decisions. Number 3, everyone becomes what they decide to become. Do you understand that? So if everything has been put in you and you are where you are today, it's because you decided. Okay. Let's read Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9 to 10. It says, remember the former things, those of long ago. I am God, and there's no other. I am God, and there's none like me. I set the end from the beginning, and make known from ancient times what is yet to come. I say, my purpose will stand. I will do all that pleases me. Number 1, he said, I will set the end. Which means everything that has to do with you is finished in you. You're about to just begin the journey. Do you understand? Look at Joseph. Joseph saw his end, Abi. The journey was what? Was it easy? It was rocky. But he was focused at what? The end. So his end was what? I asked this the other day. The end was what? People say to go and feed his family. What was the end result? From all the things I'm teaching, he was taking what? Thank you. He was taking territories. While fulfilling purpose, his purpose was to end up in Egypt and have the Israelites. But he was taking territories in every aspect of his life. To the point that even the organs of those territories would leave every power to him. And say, as long as this man is handling it, all I have to do is just chill. He took territory of the jail cell and then took territory of Egypt. I'm sure if he could take territory of the well, he would have, if he was given time. Now, the last part that says, my purpose will stand. My purpose will stand does not mean it will be standing upright. It means it will frustrate you. This is why a lot of us are doing things and we are frustrated. We're not happy at where we are. Because you're not living in purpose. And the reason why you do not even recognize the purpose is because you've not even aligned back with God genuinely. See, coming to church does not align you with God. Coming to Mark Register while going back to the world on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night does not align you. And that is why every part of our lives we get frustrated. Because the Lord has said his purpose will stand. So until you start to live in that purpose, right, you will keep getting frustrated. The who that you are is trapped in you. You know, I keep repeating this thing. I'm using different words for you, hoping that one day you'll catch it. Or in one of these words, you'll catch it. The success that God has designed for you to attain is within you. No manufacturer wants to make a defective product. You see, you remember when I said the warranty on your life, the warranty on product, parts can be changed. If you go back to God, the parts of your life that are hindering you can be changed. Your success, he needs you to be successful for him to be glorified. He needs you, so he's willing to change those parts free of charge. He's not acting like any other idol, any other God that is saying, come and pay me something for me to do this for you. He says, come to me. You know, the fact that Jesus was sent and he died on the cross for you to get that citizenship of the kingdom, for you to be able to be born again. You know why I like that word born again? The idea of being childlike. You know, when Jesus said, when he was talking about getting to heaven, and he said, if you are like these children, you know, that is why he always wanted you to grow old, not grow up. Because you see, the idea of you, how do I put it? When you were a child, when you were born, what did you want to become, if I go? A chef. Your imagination was wild. I wanted to become an astronaut. Any other astronaut? Okay, what did you want to become? Please help me. Yes. Fashion design. Are you a fashion designer now? Okay. How many of you wanted to be superheroes? We stood on those, for the guys, you stood on, almost jumped at where. But the imagination of a child runs through. A child believes he can be anything he wants to be. I remember there was a day my dad asked me, what he was sitting with his friend and said, and I think it's the friend, I can't remember which of them asked me, he said, what do you want to be? And then we had a basketball rim. So I used to play basketball. I said, I want to be a basketball player. They removed the rim. By the next day, I didn't even know it pained him that much. I just know that the rim was removed from the house. Till today, I'm upset because I wanted to. Thank you. It's not too late. Who will draft me at this age? I don't even think I can play up to 5 minutes without breathing horribly. Let's go to church. So your purpose is trapped within you. Let's go. Let me even give you an example. By the way, let me tell you one other testimony of it today is that it is not too late. At what age did Abraham start his purpose? 75. Abraham started his purpose. How many of you know that Abraham's family were idol worshippers? So you even have a better, what do you call it? God started a man's purpose at the age of 75. He didn't even have a good footing. He didn't even know who that was. Someone just calls him and he fulfilled purpose. So the testimony this morning is that it's not too late. Let me read one more this now as I close. Proverbs chapter 19 verse 21. It says, you can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. You know, let me tell you one funny thing I learned one day. First of all, let me say it again. It just mimics what the first phrase. It says, you will make many plans. Many are the plans of the heart of man. That's another one, right? But what? But God's purpose stands. So, let me tell you something I learned one day. What is the enemy of good? The enemy of good? No, the enemy of right. Enemy of right is wrong. That's what you would think. But the opposite of right is wrong. The enemy of right is what? Good. The opposite of right is wrong. The enemy of right is good. So you know what? Let me now break it up. The devil, what does he do? He brings a lot of good things and tells you should do them. They are the things that, they seem so good, but they are not the right things for you. Now I'm going to say something, please. This is how I will end. But I want you not to take it literally. I want you to think it through. Let me tell you one of the institutions that I used to love this institution, the institution of education. But as I've grown older, I've realized that the institution of education is one of the strongholds that the devil has fully, or almost, if he has not fully, he has grasped it. Because your education does what? It limits you. They use tests to tell you that you are smart, you are not smart. It tells you what you can do. There are schools that tell you that from your whatever, you should be arts. When we're in school, they say you are arts, you are science. Nobody wanted to even get you to science. It was just, I beg you, are dense. And the truth is, education teaches you what? That after that, you go and get a... How many of you agree that your job is not your work? Pickens, I wish you could help me with this one. How many of you know? How many of you know that your job is not your work? That's why when Jesus came, he said, I came to do the work of my Father. He didn't say I came to do the job of my... So let me explain it to you. You can write this down too. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your job gives you finances. Your work gives you fulfillment. Your job is your skill. Your work is your gift. You see, you need to understand the reason why we've gone through this is for you to understand who you are, where you're from, what you carry, where you're going. And if you do not have a mind shift, you may be frustrated till your later days. It is said that, I always script this line, I said it last week too, that the day that you die is more important than the day that you were born. It is not at a gravestone that they should be writing, she was this, she was that, he was this. The gifts, the works that has been placed in you, have you used it to capacity? Have you sought the manual to know the promises as a child of God, the kingdom promises that are accrued to you? Do you understand the God that created you and his wishes? Do you understand your mission on earth? That it is not to japa, but to invade. Now the beauty is that you can find your work in your job. You can find your work in your job. But I'm here to tell you this morning that your potential, that who you are, is not of this world. From the time that you accepted Christ, you became a different citizen. You took the citizenship of the kingdom of God. Earthly laws should not apply to you. Kingdom laws should apply to you. The God who created life designed it for you to succeed. So you are supposed to lean back and look back at him and read the manual that was on top of your packaging box and understand what your entitlements are, the direction you should be taking, the legislation of the kingdom of God, how you should dress, how you should walk, how you should talk, how you should edify, what you should do. I'm going to end with this. Your purpose is more important than your plans. Do you agree then? Your purpose is more powerful than your plans. God's purpose precedes your plans. Those are the three topics. And I'll just touch on it a bit. Purpose is more powerful than plans because he said it will prevail over your plans. Your purpose is more important than plans because he said, before you were made, I already knew your purpose. And your purpose precedes plans because he had put it in you before your parents even thought of you. So I'm here to encourage someone this morning and let you understand that it is time and it's not too late to realign yourself with the purpose of God. Let's look back onto him. Understand that your life has more to offer. You are walking on limited capacity. The lights on your dashboard are blinking. And the only way to figure it out, why, is by going back to the manual. So before I close, if there's anyone here that would like to give their life to Christ, all eyes closed. This is not about any other person. This is truly about understanding and knowing what God has created you for. I want you that this morning you make a decision that your life is ready to change, that you understand the mission that God has created you for. The mission of invasion, the mission of taking territory on earth. And God is invested in you succeeding in those things. He promises that while doing those things, as long as you look unto him, every other thing will follow and fall into place. He wants you to stop planning without him. This is the time to reflect in your life and say, I know things have not been the way you designed them to be, Lord. I'm here to open my heart to you. I'm coming back home, Lord. I need your help. I want to know more about you. I need the knowledge of you. I want to do better. I need to do better. Ask him to let his purpose prevail in your life. Tell him to give you the grace to be able to shelve your plans and lean on his purpose. I want us to just take this song. And I pray that this song will encourage you. You can still be in the spirit praying while listening to it. But all the song is saying is that the fact that you're alive, there's more. And you need to know that there's more in your life. You're going too low. You're moving at the lowest capacity. But today, God is saying there's more I want to do with you. If only you will come to me. I pray that somebody will go back to the Lord this morning.
God knows the plans He has for me. He knows the thoughts He thinks toward me, and nothing is an accident. I'm alive because there's more. God knows the plans He has for me. The thoughts He thinks on me.